Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support. Don't buy a car unless it has a tape deck. Now, some of you might say, what in the world are you talking about? I don't want a car with a tape deck. In fact, I don't even want a car with a CD player. Who in the world uses cassette tapes or CDs anymore? I want a vehicle with a screen because I want to be able to interface with that screen and enjoy all of my streaming services. Well, let me tell you why. When that screen breaks down, it's not going to be cheap to repair. It's not like going down to your local Walmart and buying a new flat panel television set for $200 or $300. No. When the screen fails in your modern high-tech vehicle, it is going to be very expensive for parts and labor. And chances are, it will likely fail after the warranty period expires. I don't think some Americans are prepared for how expensive some of these modern high-tech vehicles are to repair as they age. Now, my 2004 Toyota Camry that I'm driving today, it has a tape deck and it has a CD player. It has no screen. What's great about this vehicle is I can repair just about everything on it myself using basic tools. If there's some type of tool I don't have, well, the local auto parts store allows me to rent tools for free. Because this car was mass produced, the parts are very inexpensive. And there's a lot of them in the junkyard, and I could always get used parts even cheaper if I wanted to. Or I could go on eBay and get some used parts if I wanted to. When you have a modern high-tech vehicle with a screen, with no CD player and no tape deck, that modern high-tech car, it is going to be very expensive to maintain as it ages. There are some automotive service technicians that don't even like working on these modern high-tech vehicles. There's a lot of brittle plastic. When you take things apart, well, things inevitably break. It can turn into a disaster. Plastic becomes more brittle as vehicles get older, and a lot of these modern vehicles have a lot of plastic. Look underneath a modern vehicle. Look at all of the plastic that's covering the underside. Compare that to some of the older vehicles. Some of them have guards underneath, but they're steel. They didn't cheap out like a lot of automakers are doing today. I understand plastic weighs less and that helps with fuel economy. For me, I'd rather sacrifice fuel economy for durability. Think about this for a moment. If you're getting 40 miles per gallon on your modern vehicle versus what I'm getting in the high 20 range for my old car, but you have thousands of dollars in repairs that you can't make yourself because the car is so difficult to work on, are you really saving money in the long run? I don't think so. Then there's vehicle depreciation to think about. Your expensive modern high-tech vehicle cost a lot to buy. You're going to lose thousands and in some cases tens of thousands of dollars to depreciation. It's just a given. You're also going to pay more for insurance. You're going to pay more for vehicle registration. And I bet the tires are going to cost you more. Old vehicles like this 2004 Toyota Camry have small steel wheels with really thick sidewall tires. Those tires are really cheap to replace. I replaced all four for less than $300 out the door. Sure, they weren't nice Michelin tires, but I could replace all four of them for less than $300. You're not going to be able to do that with a modern vehicle. Most of these have large aluminum rims with low profile tires. Those are extremely expensive to replace. Modern vehicles also have the tire pressure sensors, and inevitably those fail after age. And you're going to have to pay for those as well at some point. For me, I'd rather drive an older vehicle with a tape deck. And you know what's great about that? If you still have some mixtapes from back in high school or middle school, well, you can still play them if you have a tape deck in your vehicle. Some of you don't remember that. When I was in school, this was a lot of fun. We made mixtapes. I would make a mixtape with some of my favorite songs that I would record off the radio, and I would label what those songs were on the front of the cassette, and I would give one of those to a friend of mine at school, and maybe he would give me one in return. And he might have some cool songs on his mixtape that I had never heard. Life was different back then than it is today. Nowadays, people can just get on some streaming service and listen to any song they want. But back then, that was really a cool thing to do. It's kind of like passing notes in school. People actually used to handwrite notes and fold them up so they were very small and inconspicuous, and then pass them sometimes through some of your classmates in order to get to the other person. And that's how you traded messages in school. Compare that to today. Now a lot of young people have smartphones and they just text message one another. Life has certainly changed in America and around the world. At times, I feel as though I'm a bit stuck in the past. So some of you may not want to heed my advice regarding buying a vehicle with a tape deck. But from my perspective, these older vehicles were built better. They had thicker steel. The manufacturers were not as heavily focused on profits. The older vehicles are simpler to work on. You don't have to remove as many components from the engine bay to do simple service. So like on my 2004 Toyota Camry, I can easily change all of the spark plugs in less than 30 minutes. And it's a very simple job. If I want to change the starter, there's 2 bolts. That's it. I have to take the air box out, but there's 2 bolts to remove that starter. I did it myself, and it took me less than an hour. It was a really simple job. Try replacing the starter on some modern high-tech vehicles. I doubt you're going to be able to do it in less than an hour. Same goes for spark plugs. With some vehicles, it's extremely difficult to even get to the spark plugs. You might have to remove all types of other components on the vehicle to even get to the spark plugs. Sometimes you might have to remove an intake manifold to get to the spark plugs. There are some starters on vehicles and they're located under the intake manifold. I have no interest in owning a vehicle like that. I'm perfectly happy driving my older vehicle with a tape deck. I'm curious what you all think about this. Do any of you own an older vehicle with a tape deck? I know maybe some of you don't use it. Maybe some of you have no interest in playing old cassette tapes. Maybe some of you just want to own an older vehicle with a cassette player because you agree with me that those vehicles were built better and they're easier to maintain. If you're someone like this, tell me all about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.